welcome back to my channel. If you haven't done it already, go ahead and comment and subscribe. Talk to me, I talk back. So as you can tell from the title of this video, I am a notary loan signing agent, and at the beginning of my career, I didn't know all the documents and I was extremely nervous on how to even present them and briefly go over them just during the signing, and just trying to do it in a timely manner and also to make it seem like I knew what I was talking about. So they have sticky notes that says like sign here, notarized. So with me, I only had like little sticky notes, like blank sticky notes. So I used them to basically go through the documents, and each document I wrote a brief description of what it was. So when I seen a sticky note, I knew to either check for an initial or a signature, and also that will be the description. I will tell the signer that basically you will see sticky notes throughout this signing, just so I won't miss a signature, and just a reminder for me, which that was the honest truth. So going forward to this video, you can use the same technique as I did, or do it your way. Use the notarized or the signature stickers. It's really up to you, but the more you do it, the more it's going to come to you like second nature. So I don't use the sticky notes anymore, like they're in my backpack, but I just figured this video could help new loan signing agents or notaries. And yeah, so these clips next, I'm just going to go through, and you can pause, if you need to write down some notes. So starting off, you always have to verify identification. So scan IDs front and back. It's always required. This next one is the no oral agreements. It verifies that no unwritten agreements have taken place with the parties involved. This next one is the compliance agreement. You agree to cooperate should there be any changes to the loan documents due to clerical errors. I remember I was talking about the identification. You'll have a form in there that I usually put up front. Patriot Act form. It's 2 forms of identification. Sometimes it's one. You just have to read the fine print. Another document, it's common, is an affidavit of debts and liens. This document makes statements about liens that you may have on the property that relates to your loan. That always has to be notarized. Settlement statement that comes with everyone refinances. It's a detail of all fees and charges. You'll see another one called the survey affidavit. It's the facts about your current property survey. This next one is a closing protection. It's insurance that will bind with the title underwriter to cover you in the event of loss. And with this, sometimes you have to check the closing disclosure, and it's already taken out, but it's optional. The buyer or the signer can accept or decline. This next one is the closing statement. It's a list of all of the costs and fees associated with the loan. On all documents, make sure you sign as printed. Again, you may see duplicate ones because I've written these out just to practice. Notice of no oral agreements. There are no oral agreements between the parties that are not documented in the loan. This next one is a marital status affidavit, and that doc requests that you swear to the info about your marital history, saying if you're married or not. You'll notarize that. This next one is a refinance affidavit. It's to confirm info about property related to the loan. This next one is impound authorization. Maintained by the mortgage company to collect insurance and tax payments that are necessary for you to keep the home. Again, errors and omissions and compliance agreement. You will work with the lender to provide any additional info requests to complete the package, and you'll notarize that. Another document, the document corrections agreement. You will work with the lender to provide any additional info or funds required to complete the loan. Some of the documents, they have like the same meaning, but the disclosure or the document, it has a different name. Closing disclosure again. I didn't do closing, but the closing disclosure has the final details about your loan. It includes loan terms, monthly payments, fees, and closing costs. This next one is the limited power of attorney correction agreement. Another document that allows correction of documents for clerical errors. You notarize that, most likely. This next one is the name affidavit. This document lists names that you have been known as. Sign by names you've been known as. Do not sign by the name that doesn't apply to you. You can put NA or never known as, and you will have to notarize this document for the signers. Another document you will see is the first payment letter, and it explains when your first payment will due, and it breaks down usually the hazard insurance and taxes. Another one is the initial escrow disclosure. This discusses your escrow account. You will also see a tax form 4506-T. The lender may collect a copy of your tax return for the IRS. Make sure you check that square box. It's like right above the signature line. This is another compliance agreement saying you'll cooperate with if there's any clerical errors. This next one is a certification and authorization for the lender to release information about you. We did this one already, survey affidavit. Sometimes you will have a note, basically the promise to pay, and you just say the note states that you have borrowed. You say the loan amount, the length of time you have to pay it back. The first payment date is on there, and other terms. You just review that briefly. This next one is the uniform residential application. This is the application that they filled out at the beginning of their loan, signed to confirm that it's accurate. So now you have to make sure it's initials. It will say like number 2 or 1, depending on how many applicants is on the application. Make sure they initial and also sign. This next one is the payoff affidavit. It's an agreement to repay the title company. Closing disclosure again. Did that one. This next one is amortization schedule. It's a process of paying off debt over the time through regular payments. So it breaks down all the payments. This next one is a hold harmless. And this is the legal liability for any injuries or damage suffered by the party signing the contract. This next one is a PMI disclosure. It's a requirement for a loan. You have the right to cancel PMI when cancellation date has reached, or PMI will automatically terminate upon termination date. Borrower's affidavit again. That's just basically saying you review and confirm the truthfulness for the content of the documents. You make sure you notarize that. This next one is the deed of trust or the mortgage. It will be called mortgage. It gives the lender an interest in your property. It will be recorded in the public records, and you will notarize that. This next one is truth in lending disclosure. This explains all the costs of your loan. It's another document I've seen. Homestead affidavit. This says you state this is your primary home, or it can be like an occupancy affidavit. This next one is a settlement statement. Again, shows all the charges involved in the loan. And then lastly I have is an insurance notice. You understand you must keep property insurance.